Okay, we are still working in the section 8.1. I just want to do a couple test problems with you. Let's go to number 50 and just do this. They want you to express with positive fractional exponents. So we're starting in radicals, we're making them into fractions. I just want to do a couple with you. Cubed root of mn. Just pretend those are numbers, maybe it won't be as confusing. And then when we're done, we're going to fourth that. Alright, well, let's just take this out of the radical. M is to the 1, right? Everything's to the 1 if they don't tell us otherwise. N's to the 1. So taking this out of the radical will make m to the 1/3. Whatever's on the outside is always on the bottom. N to the 1/3. And then all of that fourthed. So this will need to multiply to the 4, this will need to multiply to the 4. M to the 4/3, N to the 4/3, and that's your answer. Okay, let's do number 51. Square root of x cubed, y -1, z -3. Okay, we're just going to take them out of that. X cubed, y -1, z -3, and we need to give them an exponent, right? We can't just take them out. We have to say where they came from. So 1/2, like that. Now, let's multiply that 1/2 to each one of them. See, because we really could have written it, remember how I was earlier in one of the earlier videos that I've done today, I was telling you that if you wanted to break up that radical and give them each their own separate little doggy house, they could each, I don't know why I had to say doggy house, but anyway, they could each be in it like this, being multiplied. Y -1 could be in its own little house. Z -3 could be in its own little house. It doesn't matter. If you want to break them up, you can. But since they all have that 2, I've written the 2. You don't have to write a 2, but if it was a, Anyway, so they all are sharing that same index, so they can share the same house. They might as well. If you wanted to break that up, you could. And that way, when you do decide to take them out and give them a fractional exponent, like this, you can see why we're having to multiply that 1/2 to each one, in case you wondered why we had to do that. It's always good if you just suddenly, I'm like that so many times, I'll forget a rule and I'll be like, oh, for some reason, oh, should I only multiply that to the last one? I cannot remember if I distributed or what. All you got to do is just remind yourself, go back to the basics, say, okay, let me just take this slow and separate them all out since I can. Go back to things you know. So x, that'll come x to the 3/2 times y to the -1/2 times z to the -3/2. Now let me see if they wanted me to write, they wanted me to write it with positive fractional exponents. So it needs to be x to the 3/2 over y to the 1/2, z to the 3/2. Put them on the bottom. Alright, good job.